so grateful to be here today. And again, thank you to Reverend Shannon to allow me to fill in for her while she's away traveling. And Reverend Shannon is pretty brilliant, wouldn't you say? And I want, yeah, let's hear it for Reverend Shannon. Woo! Reverend Shannon! We know you're watching, so thank you. But here's how she set up the month for us. We began with planting seeds. If we're going to reap the harvest, first we have to plant some seeds, right? And so in week 1, the first week in November, she said, what is your gift? What do you want to express in the world? This is how the creative process works. It begins with a divine idea. So we have an idea of what our gift is and what we want to express. In week 2, she asked us, what is your dream? What's the dream you have for yourself, for the community, for global relationships? Thinking beyond the limited self and out into the world, what is the dream? Because the power and the passion behind any idea is its purpose. And by identifying your dream, you tap into the greater purpose and vision. And this is the spark of inspiration. So we planted the seeds of our idea and we rooted them deeply with purpose and vision. And then Reverend Shannon showed us how to nurture the soil with the practice of forgiveness. How many of you were in that forgiveness class, that 3-week forgiveness class? Yeah, thank you so much for being there, because it's such a powerful practice that allows us to release the places where we feel blocked. That's what forgiveness does. So what we're doing is we're pulling up the weeds that are choking the plants, right? We nurture the soil with compassion and with grace. And so in week 3, she reminded us of the practice of gratitude and talked about our willingness to be vulnerable. So we identified what we wanted. We infused it with inspiration and passion. We released any beliefs standing in the way and developed gratitude. We fertilized, nurture our garden, and now we're ready to harvest. Are you ready to reap the harvest? Yes, me too. Wonderful. Where is it? Have you seen it? Have you? No? Have you seen it? Have you seen the harvest? Have you seen my good? I've been working on it all month. Where's my good? Does that sound familiar? Remember that commercial years ago, Where's the Beef? Yeah, where is it? Quantum physics teaches us that there's a nucleus of an atom, and around it is an amazing field of energy, a field of possibility. And what physicists found when they went to study a proton and to measure it and observe it, the moment they began to focus on the proton, the field of energy collapsed into matter and became a particle. And the moment they put their attention back on that, and that's called collapsing the wave. That field of energy is the wave. And the moment they let go of the photon, they came back into the infinite field. Does that sound familiar? Science of Mind 1. Science of Mind, Foundations class. It's that we know that there's an infinite field. There's a divine mind, a creative expression, an intelligent cause, the thing itself, as Ernest Holmes says. But the minute we pay attention to the problem or wonder where it is, I move out of the focus, right? I've shifted my focus, and now I'm looking at the problem, and I forgot that I'm one with the infinite energy. The connection is there, but all I'm seeing is the problem. Ernest Holmes uses the example of electricity. Electricity is always there, but when I turn off the lights, flip the switch down, then I've lost the connection, the lights go out. It's still there, but I'm in the dark. Flip the switch back on, and I'm in the light. In today's cell phone technology, we say we're out of range, right? Out of cell phone range. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? And we think we have to move around. For a cell phone, sometimes you have to move around or put your phone over here or something because we're out of range. But in the spiritual world, we're never out of range, are we? We're never out of range. We think we are, or we forget. But it all comes back to, what are we thinking? Am I in the problem, or am I in the possibility? And I love the meditation chant. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. That's our mantra. I invite you to use that mantra, especially this week when you see your family. Will you do that? While they're talking and things are going on, you're sitting there just in bliss. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And just smile and send love. And before you know it, it'll be Friday and it'll be over. Anyway, that was an aside. Where was I? We don't have to move to a better spot to pray, right? Every spot is a prayer spot. Every spot is perfect. But what we do is we try to change the conditions. We think we have to change the conditions to reap the harvest. So we move physically to get better cell phone reception. Did you ever know someone to move physically to think it's going to be better over here? Oh, I think I'll move to Seattle because there's a bigger market over there, right? Or I'll move to Chicago because they're friendlier over there. It's like whatever you think, it's an inside job. You can do whatever you want to change the outward appearances, but it's the inner connection that we have to pay attention to. In order to reap the harvest, we have to establish that solid connection with the divine, with spirit. Here's what Eric Butterworth says in Spiritual Economics. It is an important moment in your life when you discover for yourself the great truth that things may happen around you and things may happen to you, but the only things that really count are the things that happen in you. Right? It's what's going on in here. How am I connected with the divine? How am I connected back in love? That's what's going to make the difference. Here's what my teacher would say. She said, you can do your work in your seat or on the street. Think about it. Any upset going on, anything going on, if I do my work here, I can do it myself and heal it. If I project out there, then I'm on the street. We're so busy moving around, searching for good, thinking good is out there, that our harvest is out there. But what we need to do is demonstrate the art of receiving. Very often we feel like we don't deserve. I haven't earned it, therefore I don't deserve it. So in the Principles of Financial Freedom class, there was a student who came to class one day and she said, I got it. I saw where I'm not receiving. So she told the story how she was standing in line at Starbucks and the person in front of her turned around and said, I'd like to buy your coffee. And she said, oh, no, thank you. No, today is double points day, and if I buy my coffee today, I'll get a free one next time. Not only did she refuse the drink, but she refused the other person their opportunity to serve, to give. Seriously, this is the thing. We don't have to earn points to get our stuff. Starbucks, Nordstrom, and REI, you have to earn points. But they keep track of the points, but the universe doesn't keep track of points. The universe is only interested in the now. Where am I now? What do I know now? Staying in the presence now. So pay attention. Do you receive a compliment without conditions? I like your outfit. Oh, this old thing? Right? We say that, or we tell how much we paid for it at the sale at wherever. Or somebody says, I want to buy you a cup of coffee, and you go, oh, no, I'll buy you a cup of coffee. We haven't allowed ourselves to receive. And that's, believe it or not, that's one of the most powerful places of resistance, of blocks that we have. Part of it is that we're afraid we don't deserve it. And the other part is that we're afraid we can't pay it back. It's not conditional. Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers said, the greatest gift you can give another person is to gracefully receive whatever it is that they want to give us. That includes listening, includes anything they want to give. That's the greatest gift. So in the Principles of Financial Freedom class, we teach gracious giving and gracious acceptance. So I want to share right from the curriculum. Let me explain gracious giving first, because it's the purest form of self-expression, where we give out of the simple joy of giving out of a felt sense of gratitude. Our gratitude is not based on something we received. We're grateful for the awareness of the presence of God brought to us by others. We graciously give to others because we perceive the divinity within them, simply because we love them. I give not because I need a return or expect a favor, but simply out of deep love and appreciation. So gracious acceptance is allowing us to freely receive an increasingly abundant experience of life. Unfortunately, very often our experience of gracious acceptance is thwarted by feelings of unworthiness and a false sense of obligation towards those who are giving us who are sharing their blessings. Our unwillingness to graciously accept all that's given us interrupts the divine circulation and creates the experience of lack and need in our lives. To experience gracious acceptance, we live in a state of grace. And that place of unworthiness, this is the place where we do the work. This is truly what we do here on this planet, is to do our work, to be able to receive. We came into this physical form so we can receive and experience all the good that God has in store for us. To be in gratitude for all the abundance that there is. And when we stay focused on practice, centered in spirit, centered in love, centered in our awareness, that's where we live in that state of grace. And grace is defined as goodwill, favor, unexpected blessings. Author Richard Rohr tells us, grace is just the natural, loving flow of things when we allow it instead of resisting it. And this is my favorite grace story, is my family lives in upstate New York, and it was another snowy day in upstate New York, and my sister looked out the window and said, I need to clear off the driveway. And so she bundled up, and a little while later she bundled up and snow was piling high, and she went out in the driveway, and the driveway was plowed. And she was stunned. And so she called the neighbors. Did you plow my driveway? No, I'm busy. I've got my driveway to plow. She called a friend. No, I didn't do it. She couldn't find out who did it. That's a state of grace. You don't have to know. It's just done. That unexpected favor, that blessing that just shows up when we least expect it. She called me in amazement and told me the story, and I went, I think that's called prayer, but that's an answer to prayer. It's the divine flow. Charles Fillmore tells us, by coming receptive to the grace of God, we receive the measure of God's provision, which exceeds any of our imaginings. So how do we stay in a state of grace? We begin by living in appreciation. Live in appreciation, that opportunity where we're grateful for the good around us. We're grateful just to wake up. I could explain it all day, but here's a video that will show it better. That little video was created by a church in, does anyone know? It's been on Facebook, and I want to say North Carolina or something, that they created that. I hope every church everywhere shows that, because isn't that the epitome of what we want to do? We just want to wake up and be in true bliss, that I'm alive, that, yeah, we have electricity, running water, we have so much to be grateful for. The second one is willingness to receive, to be open and receptive, to say thank you for the cup of coffee, for the compliment, for the kindness, whatever is shown to us, to just see someone smile and be grateful for it. And the third is to trust the process. We live in a time where we have such mistrust, because we focus on trusting the outside world. But the true trust is trusting the inner process, trusting our connection with God, with the creative process, for all the life that God has to give us, for all the abundance that God has in store for us. Here's what Ernest Holmes says: "The world starves in the midst of plenty. It weeps in the midst of joy. Yet the eternal manna never ceases to fall. The fields of God are ripe unto harvest. The garden of your mind was planted by a wisdom superior to yours. Enter in and possess the promised land. When you accept in simple faith, you receive. When you knock in childlike belief, the door will be opened. What you seek with enthusiastic acceptance, you will find. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is God's life now." Would you say that with me? There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you.